So warm welcome, Miriam. Thank you that you can take the time to talk to me about, let's say, your work and a little bit of your life and your insight into the fintech industry. This is FinTech Forum 7 question series for all who don't know what FinTech Forum is all about. FinTech Forum is a platform to bring together early stage startups and early stage investors in the area of fintech. So again, Miriam, warm welcome. Today I'm, of course, especially interested in your new startup, fintech startup, Banxware. And I would be happy that you a little bit tell us about yourself, your work, and your leisure.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you, Frank, for having me. Yeah, we know each other for a long time, but never met in person. So great to see, at least see each other here virtually. So that's very nice. Yeah, I'm Miriam Wohlfarth. I'm in the fintech payment space since a long time, since 21 years. Since the year 2000, where I started working in the payment industry at a company called Bibit Global Payment Services, and out of Bibit, actually, that were the founders of Adyen. They were one of the first payments companies in Europe, and they really probably are the leading people that created payments in Europe next to the Stripe guys. So that was quite interesting. And Bibit was sold to Royal Bank of Scotland and became WorldPay. So it's also a huge company today owned by Fiserv, and quite interesting what has happened there. So during my journey there, I stayed there for a long time, for 8 years at Bibit WorldPay. Then I moved to Ogon for 1 year. And I realized, because Ogon was building white label PSPs, that there is need for better products, especially in the German market. So that's the reason why I founded RatePay with 2 others in 2009. RatePay is a provider for pay later payments. So in Germany, known under the brand Rechnungskauf. So this is a typical German payment method. We wanted to disrupt this situation at that time and make this payment method digital available. So we started doing this, and we also started installment payment. So this was quite successfully. Actually, RatePay received a license, became profitable, was actually sold to private equity in 2017. I'm still managing director, but completely phasing out at the moment. And I founded Banxware, that's correct. And yeah, why I did this? So, I founded RatePay at that time because I was always listening to what the customers are looking for. What can I do in order to give them a better experience? And at RatePay, something happened to me about 1.5 years ago, that I got requests from our customers that were in particular marketplaces. RatePay serves a couple of marketplaces such as eBay, Metro, Otto, and some smaller ones. And they kept asking us, hey, RatePay, could you offer us a service that we could offer our merchants better liquidity? Because within marketplaces, it is really essential that especially smaller merchants have good liquidity, and also that helps the marketplaces also, to if for their products that they want to push the merchants, that they spend more money on advertising, etc. So they would like to help the merchants grow. This was the attention, because in the US, I saw there is a trend from Shopify, for example, and also from Stripe, that they have also Square, where they have a business unit called Square Capital, Stripe Capital, and Shopify Capital, and that was actually the units that support merchant growth and support them with better liquidity. And this was something that we were asked for at RatePay, and it seems that there are some similarities, but on the other hand, RatePay does installment payments, but that's a different business, because RatePay does installment business for B2B2C, meaning the credit scoring RatePay does is a private persons and not companies. So, and this is really a very different business, scoring a company. So I was really thinking about this, and since, when you receive a request like this once, you think, okay, yeah. But if you receive it 3 times in quite some short time, you start thinking, okay, why isn't this in this market? Why is this not there? Then I realized, okay, there has been some, let's say in the past, there has been some initiatives, but they didn't really, let's say, work out. Then you have banks in the market that usually give liquidity to merchants, but there you need to be, in Germany at least, you need to be older than 2 years in order to get a loan, and or there are some factoring companies. So there's options, possibilities, but they are always, it takes a lot of time. They're not fast. They're not integrated into let's say platforms, and it's also often, there's also often, let's say, merchants that are kind of, let's say, they don't get a loan because they're too young. So I think, okay, how does Shopify do that? So I was really wondering, and I realized, okay, what they do is revenue-based financing. So in order to,
Yeah.
let's say, give these younger merchants possible, let's say, a loan, you need to see actually how much revenues they are making. And then I thought, okay, how could you get into these revenues? Actually, you need access to, let's say, transaction history, so you can get better, let's say, a different kind of credit scoring. And we were like thinking of this. And then I met my co-founder Jens, who I know since a long time. He's a lawyer in the FinTech space. And he was working actually with an American bank on a project that was quite similar. And we were like saying, "Hey, come on! This is in Europe. There's nothing. It's just not possible." And this would be such a great thing to offer this, yeah. And to build something, a solution where you can have an easy financing solution for SMEs that is integrated, that is online, and that is fast, where you get money ASAP, so actually within 1 day. That is something like cash to grow. And so you can also use the cash for anything you want. So this was like, okay, we had this vision there, and it's like, okay. First it was, okay, shall we do that? Well, we said, I don't know if I can find another company. Then I thought, okay, listen, with RatePay, I had this contract, this managing director's contract from the private equities, which actually ended last year on the 31st of August. And then I said to Jens, you know what, I'm going to talk to my investors. I'm going to ask them if it would be okay for them if I start something new, and also I could find a way maybe where I can very slowly phase out at RatePay and still be involved at RatePay a bit. Because when you found a company, at least for me, I mean, my heart is also, it's really strongly related to RatePay. Yeah, it's not that something we were an employee and then you leave. Yeah, I mean, I'm always the founder. Yeah, forever the founder of RatePay, and this is also this company I have a lot, let's say, to do with. And I found a solution with them. I said, listen, I mean, I want to really build up something new. I'm a person that is quite multitasking. I mean, I'm always doing multitasking, yeah, because I have no problem with this. So, and also I said, hey, listen, it's also good for RatePay if I'm successful with Banxware, because there are a lot of, let's say, similar potential customers, and also, and then actually made this deal with them that I stepped out on the 1st of September last year, where I stepped out of every operational stuff I had to do at RatePay, still having the managing director role, but phasing out towards this fall and going into an advisory role. And then starting a new company in September. This is Banxware. So actually, we built up the solution. Jens and me, we were looking then for the right people in the team in order to build it, because I'm not the builder. Yeah, I have the vision, the idea, and I know how to sell it and market it, but I cannot code myself and build up a risk engine. So we got a great team on board. We got two co-founders. And we got the MVP ready. That was ready in December, and we started the first, let's say, approach where we did the online loans with the KfW. So there were the Corona supporting loans, because we wanted to check the system if it's working, and then build the core product on this. Yeah, it went live. Then we also got investors on board. That was in February. We got 4 million seed funding. And now actually we gained 2 more customers. So one is just went live 10 days ago. It's the platform group. Actually, there's also a marketplace with several marketplaces. And then we just went live last week with a new customer, which is we will launch it officially next week. So I cannot say the name, but it's a great solution for restaurants. Yeah, so especially
Okay.
now post-Corona. And yeah, so this is where we are. So the team now has, we are 19 people now at Banxware. and we have big plans. So this is where we are.
So that's really all great. Congratulations for that step.
Thank you very much.
Well done. One question. In Germany, who would you compete with on this, let's say, revenue financing? Would this be PayPal?
Yes, I mean, PayPal has this solution. Yes, they have it integrated into, this is probably the only company that has really an integrated solution inside of PayPal. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, you can say, okay, but is this really a competitor? I don't know. I mean, a lot of merchants, they don't want to be so, just dependent on one payments company. Yeah. So it's better, maybe even they can spread things and yeah. But PayPal is the only one that is really offering such a similar service.
Yeah. That's something which I would
Yeah.
also think about. And let's say classical banks are not into that topic.
No.
And therefore, congratulations to spot
Thank you very much.
the right process and also the right approach. And I fully would agree on that's an area where it's very difficult for an online shop or entrepreneur to get a loan or working capital, and a great solution, and it actually even helps the economy. So because I think banks are much more traditional. You already answered a lot of questions which I would have, but I spotted one. What is so also great on your let's say winning winning investors for the new startup for Banxware. What lessons would you like to share with the other founders who have not such a let's say successful history yet when it comes to fundraising?
Yeah, see, in the fundraising, I think it is really important that you can show up a clear vision where you want to go. Yeah, what is really the thing that you want to achieve? I think this was, and we realized this also in the first talks that we had, because we started the fundraising so in fall or early fall, and the first talks were not really as good as we thought, because we said, okay, we have to really sharpen our presentation. We have to sharpen, really say, this is where we want to go. This is really what we want to achieve. And we are really, let's say, and we know that we can achieve it because of this, this, and this. And I think this is super important, that you can show this really, this mission, this vision, and also a clear path on how to get there and why it should be you as a team. And I think this helps a lot, because at the beginning, we did that. Funding for me was a long time ago. With RatePay. So I thought, okay, we would just talk about this. But I think it's, and also in this remote situation where we are. So we never personally met our investors. It is really it's really important to have a great presentation where you have a great message, a clear message where you want to go to. So we had, let's say, probably the first 2-3 discussions we had, they were not that good, but we really had then feedback. So, okay, what did we do wrong? Why didn't we didn't really catch their, the spirit, and also we said, okay, we do everything now in order to get an MVP live, a very small one. That was the reason why we decided to go on this project with this KfW loans, because we saw our opportunity there with, let's say, with little effort to have something live already that we can show. And this is always the difficulty when you pitch for money, when you are not live yet. It's still in your mind. And as soon as you have a small MVP already live, I think you can show how it works and what you want to do then. And also, I think what is quite important is that you have concrete plans what you want to do with the money. That you can really say,
understood.
okay, I want.
So I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Also, sometimes sitting on the other side. Why would I invest, right? So that's makes a lot of sense. So thank you for that. What are your key trends in European fintech from your point of view? What's going on right now?
So I think there is a lot going on. Yeah, I mean, this is also this buzzword, embedded financial services. But what is it, banking as a service? Sometimes for me, it's difficult to differentiate between banking as a service, embedded financial services, contextual banking. I would say it is more or less offering, going away from this generalistic approach into a very, let's say, create the best products for special user groups. And because I think as technology is, let's say, evolving so much, there is no more company able to build really a general great thing for everybody. The consumer, they have a much higher demand for, let's say, great solutions, UX experience. They're all spoiled by Amazons and Netflix, and things have to go very smooth. So a company now, a fintech company or a bank, let's do it like us, try to come from the bank side, they won't be able to really serve the customer good anymore, because they cannot really go into details. And I think this is really about this unbundling of a lot of, let's say, special processes that we will see. And this is, for me, actually kind of, let's say, banking as a service, unbundling all these kind of things that have open APIs that you can connect together and have it then in a platform, maybe for special target groups where they have all the products that they want. I hope it was not too
No.
confusing.
I share your view.
Yeah.
I fully share your view that that's the next step. That the processes need to be where, and that the product offerings need to be where the customer are,
Yeah.
and where the
Yeah.
customer is.
And then offer the right products, the products the customer wants. Yeah.
Exactly, and that needs to be, you need to bring your process where it's relevant, and I think that's a total different approach to how banking was done traditionally, where you need to go to the bank for car loan. I just made the car loan, actually, and also I made it at the point where I did buy the car. And so
convenient.
of course, if you then even get a proper offer, why the hell you would go elsewhere and discuss with other people? And actually, I did discuss it with nobody. It was just really happening in the background. So I 100% subscribe to what you said.
Yeah, I really believe in convenience. I mean, there's so many, this world is getting so complex. So you really, as a consumer, you want easy, convenient processes. And this is then you go to the place which is most relevant for you. For the one person, that's maybe this marketplace. For the others, is the PSP. And why should I use so many different apps and things like this? So you just want convenience. And then, and I think the customer has become more demanding, and also trend I see, well, because I think like a couple of years ago, it was much about building these huge fintechs against banks. I don't see this. It's more fintechs cooperating with banks, that banks can offer services, that their customers want. So this is the one thing. And also crypto, for sure. Crypto is also a big trend.
I agree as well. I did go into crypto back in 2013. So that was a good choice then.
In 2013, that's great. When you bought Bitcoins, 2013, that's perfect.
I still have it on the exactly same wallet. So
wow, cool.
I never touched it. And I'm happy that this wallet still exists. So
okay.
that actually did not happen to all my wallets. So some did disappear in between, but I'm lucky I had 20 different wallets and exchanges. But actually 3 of them just disappeared overnight, really. But still you can see I can take it very easy. Because 2013 is really early time, and that was when I was with Fedor, because Fedor had this thing with Bitcoin DE, and then I actually, because I had to implement all these things, that's the reason why I said, okay, I need to try out and I need to understand. So did buy a couple of coins, and then Yeah, that was good timing.
That was really good. Yeah, really wise. I didn't do that. Unfortunately, I never bought Bitcoins, and now I know I don't do it.
Actually, I even did forget about some wallets. So I had an XRP wallet, which I really did forget for years.
Oh.
But I could restore it.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 4 weeks, but I could restore it, and that was also very good. What's a question, because you have books on your background. What's on your bookshelf? Do you read? Have you time to read? Actually, do you read?
See, I sit here in front of my bookshelf. I have many books. I love books very much. I don't have enough time to read, to be honest. Not in the last couple of years. So I buy books. I read usually before I go to bed a bit. I read more like nice stories. So it's not really this one author I really love. At the moment, I mean, I'm a co-author of a book which is called Zukunftsrepublik. Yeah? It's a German book about the future Germany in 2030. And we did that from Startup Teams, which is an initiative for young people. Actually, it's a foundation, a non-profit foundation, where we try to, let's say, get young people into entrepreneurship, get young people into startups, into coding, and
Is it
life.
Is it already up and running? So
Yes.
can we buy it?
Yes,
So
I show you.
I will make sure.
I
Yeah,
send
first
you
of all,
one.
show it.
I will send you one.
Yeah,
This is the book.
yeah, that's great. But I also will make sure that I include the link in
Great.
the communication
Nice.
of it.
Yeah, and all the money that is
because
made from the book is for the non-profit organization. So it's not a making money book. But I think it's a really nice book because we asked 80 people for, let's say, what do you think about how will Germany look like in 2030? And we ask people, young people, that are 17. We ask older people. We ask people that are quite famous. We ask people that nobody knows. So it's really nice. And
so I will order one directly after the call. So, of course. Of course. First of all, I'm very interested in the future, and I have by now the luxury to talk to people like you who are creating the future. So of course I would support whatever you do, and especially I also need to admit I read some books this year, 2 or 3, but it's very difficult to finish them. And so far I decided sometimes it's good enough to read some sections which you're really interested in. It's the same thing. Last but not least, what's your favorite place for coffee or a drink?
Here in Berlin, actually, it's a coffee called Milchhalle. It's really nice. It's in Mitte. They have really good coffee. Then the Barn I like very much. But my absolute favorite place, it's Double I. It's in Schöneberg, in Berlin-Schöneberg. The only thing is that this is not really for sitting. This is more coffee to go. But I think I love their coffee. So it's a tip for everybody that loves coffee. Double I in the Akazienstraße in Schöneberg. But it's not a cafe where you can sit. So that is a bit a pity.
So Miriam, thank you very much for all your time and deep insight in what you have done and what you are currently building. Much appreciated, and good luck for your startup.
Thank you very much, Frank. It was really nice talking to you.